Hey everybody, it's Katie from Bobby Hair Studio, and today I'm going to teach you a little bit of how I do some hand painting to get a really nice, soft, natural result. This is my client Rochelle, and she had a balayage done about 1.5 years ago, so it's pretty grown out. We just want to update it today. This is our final look, so if you want to see how I did this, make sure to stay tuned and watch the rest of the video. Also, make sure to follow us on Instagram at Bobby Hair Studio and me at vancity.blonde. Remember to like and subscribe and turn on notifications for future videos. So let's get started. Something I want to point on is if you're doing a low contrast balayage like what I have today, where you have a level 6 natural starting point and you're going to about a level 8 with the highlights, is you want to have a big difference between where your highlights are and where your low lights are so that you can actually see the difference. So I do pull out large chunks to be my level 6 and I pull out large chunks to be my level 8. This is also where I like to make sure that I am painting up decently high onto the hair, but I'm still giving it a lot of room to blend. So you can see I'm painting a W shape onto this hair, and I'm using high tension so that I have a kind of a bouncy canvas for me to paint onto. Also, what I like to do for my mixture, for my lightener, is I do like to mix clay and Blonde Me powder together. That gets a little bit of a better lift out of the clay, but I still get the consistency I like from the clay. As I like to lighten and sweep up onto each piece, I do all my blending up near the top half of each section, and then I make sure to super saturate all the ends so that I get really blonde ends, and then a really soft gradual blend all the way up towards the top. The whole back and sides I worked from left to right, and I just constantly made sure I moved my way around my client's head so that I wasn't doing anything too blonde on one side. And then I do like to separate out the face framing kind of money piece area and do that as its own section. I also take much thinner sections and smaller sections for this because I want them to be blonder and brighter, so I want them to lift more. So remember, if you want it to be brighter, make sure to take tiny skinny sections so that the saturation gets in there better and you get a better lift. Something I've experienced with clay lighteners is that they don't typically lift super bright and very light. So if you do want to get a little more out of your clay lightener, make sure to mix in a regular blue powder lightener into it to get a little extra power. A little word of advice to anybody who's starting out with hand painting is make sure to work from left to right rather than doing an entire left side of the head and then doing your right side of the head. It makes a lot more sense to work a couple foils at a time so you remember exactly what you did and you can recreate it on the other side. This prevents you from making a client too light or too dark on either side. I know I said that earlier, it's just super important because you are taking very large panels when it comes to hand painting, and those panels make a pop and they make a difference, and you want to be very thoughtful of where you're putting your highs and your lows because it's all going to be noticeable. As it goes for brushes, I do like to use a Framar brush because they have those really soft bristles and they allow me to paint with a little bit more feathering technique. And I do like the power painters for loading on a ton of product all at once and really saturating the ends of my client's hair. Also, something to note is that when you are giving somebody a hand-painted balayage with this mixture, please don't expect a 10-level lift. This is only meant for about 4 levels, as you'll see when I'm about to pull out the foils in the back because they are finished processing. My client wants something really subtle and natural so she can grow it for another 1.5 years and not have to worry about constantly getting her balayage done up again. And when I hand paint, I like to make sure that I always have a fresh bowl. I mix it every 15 minutes because I don't want to lose any of that power because the lift is so subtle and so soft. So here you're going to see that she has a back bib on to protect the cape and to protect my chair. And this is where I'm pulling out all of her finished foils. This is my favorite part because then you get to see how the lift is and you get to see those light versus dark areas. Now, when I'm toning her to be more of a level 7, 8 rather than a true 8, because as her toner comes out, she's, still gonna have to deal with her hair brightening up and lightening up a little bit, and she wanted to be really subtle. So we're gonna start with something subtle and see where she wants to go from there. But either way, as the toner fades out, we can play around with what kind of color she wants to be in the next few months. This is a great option for students or teens who want to get something done to their hair to add dimension but don't necessarily have the budget to do this every 3 months. For my toner formula today, I used Schwarzkopf Vibrance. I did 7-1, 8-46, and 9-55. And I did this all with 6 volume. And the reason why I chose these numbers is I wanted the cool tones from 7-1 to balance out with the warm and beige tones in an 8-4-6, making it like a 7.5. And when I add cool and warm together, this is all just to even out my canvas and make it a neutral beigey color. And then 9-55 is in there just to bump it up a tiny bit and add a little tiny bit of gold. So again, here is her before, a little bit grown out. She has some deep roots and she needs a new look. And here is her after. She's a lot more golden and bright and dimensional, and her hair looks beautiful. Her money piece is really soft and she's really happy with it. And I hope you guys learned a little something today about hand painting. Make sure to comment below what you learned, and have a great day, you guys. Remember to follow us on Instagram at Bobby Hair Studio, and to follow me on Instagram at vancity.blonde. I do free education on there as well. And make sure to like and subscribe and turn on notifications, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day.